Yeah, I was just curious, what was that moment like when Claire knocked down that shot?
I was so fired up. We had been practicing it and talking about it. We had a plan because, she's really hasn't done anything all year she tried a little bit in the beginning, but doesn't practice with us physically. And so we kind of thought we'd give it a try, and she felt confident enough. So I said, okay, if we get on defense first, or if they win the tip, all right, we're on defense, that's fine. We'll get you that offense. And we kind of ran that little flare screen for. So if you're open, shoot it. And then when we get back on defense, get a foul. We told the refs we were going to foul just to get her off because I wasn't sure how she was going to be able to handle it. So we had like the game plan, right, of what we were going to do, but she still has to hit the shot, right? And for her to be that open, I don't know, that just warmed my heart. That was even like every ref came up to me, he goes, man, that's kind of what it's all about. So that was a big moment for her, and super proud of her for just, everything she's done for the program, but certainly just stepping up in that and starting things off on a positive note.
And can you just kind of touch on what she has meant to this program over the years?
Yeah, she's really been an unsung hero. I mean, like Drika's had her injuries and still does, but Drika gets minutes. We find ways she can get out there and she guts it out and does some things for our team. And Claire really had a promising career here. I mean, you can see what a good shooter is. I mean, the kid hasn't done much all year. She got beautiful stroke. I mean, really felt like she could be that kind of knockdown, distant shooter that we recruited her to be. So it's been hard on her, like, at times. But one thing I just really appreciate about her and her character is, and I said it out there, it didn't matter what was going on with her. It was always about everybody else. And she was probably our most hyped, energy, crazy, fun. Even if she was feeling down, you wouldn't know it. She was always given to her teammates that way as an energy person. And so I think she just found a way, if it can't be physical, then I got to mentally be here for my guys, and that's what she did all year long.
Next question will go to Jordan Nelson.
Hey, Suzy. So I just wanted to ask about the dominant play of the bigs today. Parks and Smith were just on fire today, getting offensive rebounds. You guys were feeding them in the post. Was that a game plan coming in? And just tell me about that and just their impact today.
Yeah, last time we played them, we felt like we could get the ball inside, and we did last time. I think we got almost 30 points out of their combination at the 5 spot. And so we felt like we could go in there, especially when they went small and moved Imani Lewis to their 4-man to the 5. I mean, she's a big part of kind of what they do. And so we felt like when she goes to the 5, we really got to hammer it in there, number one, because we felt like we had an advantage from a height and physical standpoint. But two, put pressure on her to have to defend and maybe get her in foul trouble, which did happen a little bit. So I thought those two were really, really big. I thought Ty was exceptional today. She did a really good job of pinning and sealing, rebounding, keeping balls alive, defensive rebounding. And Smitty had some moments too. I think Smitty played a little higher than normal, a little bit, which she had a couple travels. But our game plan definitely was to try to do a better job of finding them inside, for sure.
Next we'll go to Eli McCown.
Hey, Suzy, today, Margarika, she hits that 3, and it was on the next offensive possession. She was like going after a loose ball, and even though she has those injuries and stuff. So, I mean, what can you say about her and just the impact she's had on this program over these last few years, even with the injuries?
Yeah, I mean, this kid is taking a Toradol shot just to play today. I mean, she's got a torn meniscus, 2 cysts in her knee right now, on top of all of the other past injuries that this kid has, from torn Achilles and ACL, compartmental syndrome. I mean, she's just doing everything she can to just find a way to get out there. Probably the kid that I've had that's had the highest pain tolerance in my coaching career, because there's no way, I don't care if you get a Toradol shot or you're taking ibuprofen or medicine to make it feel better. At the end of the day, I mean, you have something torn in your knee and cysts in your knee and arthritis in your knee. I mean, at the end of the day, that's still going to hurt regardless, So the fact she's just out here trying to find a way is just very rewarding, and not surprising that, she's really worked on her 3-ball a little bit because her power left her with some of the injuries. So she was really working on becoming maybe more of a pick and pop guy for us at times. And then, of course, you can't stop her defensively with loose balls and charges and things like that. I mean, that's just who Drika is.
And then I guess the same
Yeah, I hope so. We're talking about that now. I mean, the one thing about Lo is, as a walk-on for us, I think, I know Iz has some too. I mean, if they're the right ones, they can be so impactful. And she is definitely one of the right ones. I mean, if I pulled up the shot tracker app right now, which, we have those shot trackers and they all wear chips when they shoot and so they can track all that. By far, bar none, she's taken the most shots on my team and probably played the least amount of minutes, and she does not care. That's who she is. She does it every day regardless. She's doing extra conditioning. She's always lifting, and I mean, she's in here 2-3 times a day as a walk-on. And so, one, I think they have to, you have to have someone that has that kind of work ethic, that can help lead our team in that regard. And then the other piece is, what kind of human being are you? What kind of teammate are you? What are you willing to do off the court and on the court for this program? And Lo is exceptional. I mean, by far a kid that, you'd never want to graduate. You just would never want her to leave your program because of her character and how hard she works. The other thing is she's pretty durable. The other two aren't. They've had a lot of injuries, knock on wood. Lo has not. And so Lo's a really good practice, scout team player if we need her. If not, she's on our team getting reps. I mean, I don't know if that kid's ever missed a practice in the time she's been here, not one time. So she has that durability piece, which helps us, when other kids maybe kind of have some injuries, she can kind of step in there and fill that role for us.
Thank you, Suzy.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we'll go to Brian Calloway.
Hi, Suzy. Can you just take me through, Eliza and just seeing her come to life there in that third quarter, especially when Wisconsin had made their push, and how important her finish to the game was for you guys today?
Well, that's big. I mean, her and Clouden kind of have to, I always say Batman, Robin, we got to have that from them. And Liza didn't, I think she was 0 for 4 in the first half. And when we came out and I said something to her going in, I'm like, listen, you got to go out there and compete. You got to stop worrying about should you shoot or not shoot, and go out there and be a competitor first. Get into people defensively, get your hands on balls, push it in transition. But when you get the ball in your hands, be a competitor. See what's in front of you. Come off screens with the purpose. I'm we know kind of where our bread's buttered. We certainly had great inside play today, but those two have to be pretty consistent from us, especially with the injury to Julia. Not having her right now as another potential scorer on the perimeter. So, again, she really coming out and stepping up was huge. We kind of went to her, ran a couple double stag options and flare options for her to free her a little bit. But just really loved her toughness. After I said it, she's like, you're right, Coach, I need to get it together. And she came out and just bam, 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 and kind of pushed us back up where we need her to be. So she's, we need that from her consistently, and she's certainly capable, as you can see.
Next, we'll go back to Jordan Nelson.
I wanted to ask about you guys on defense today, Coach. You guys started out the game in a 1-3-1 full court press. Was it also part of your game plan to put a lot of pressure and cause a lot of turnovers on Wisconsin?
Yeah, I mean, we were gonna try and use that a little bit just to see, to create some tempo a little bit. And I think from the first time we played them, they had taken Hilliard, who was more their point guard, and moved her to the off guard, and they put number 5 there, the Czech kid, Papazova, I never could say her last name, but anyway, she's a bigger guard that dribbles pretty high, right? She's not a natural point guard. I think she's playing it, and she's been effective for them. I think it's helped them offensively. She can get downhill. It took a lot of the pressure off Hilliard, so now she might be the second pass or coming off a screen and then attacking versus bring the ball down, run the play, and have to be a scorer. So I think that's been a nice adjustment that Wisconsin's made the last 5 games. It's helped their scoring a little bit, but it allowed us to kind of think, hey, maybe we need to get into them a little bit more, and attack them a little bit more in the full court. I thought they did a good job of breaking it. We were a little passive in it, some things we got to work on, but we just sort of added that this week, as we didn't get another game this week, so we kind of added something that maybe we can go to that can put a little more pressure on teams that maybe don't handle that as well.
Go back to Ian Kress.
Yeah, I just had another question about Claire. During practice, how is she? Is she normally, contributing? Is she taking shots during practice?
No, she doesn't get out there and do anything. I mean, she's kind of our hype man. She, actually right now with Annalise, our strength coach is out right now. So she's taken over our strength. You know, she gets them in the weight room and she brings them out. I mean, Marshall, our men's strength coach, kind of oversees it, but Claire's taken a big ownership. She's going to get her master's degree next year, and she wants to kind of get into that strength and conditioning side of things. So Annalise is taking her under her wing. So, I mean, we call her Coach Claire right now. So she stretches them, but no, she doesn't do any reps. She's at everything. She certainly understands what's going on. She'll ride the bike. She'll help us pass. So she's kind of become more of a student, I guess a little bit more like a manager role due to her injuries.
She hasn't lost that shooter's touch, though.
Yeah, I know, and that's what's so disappointing. I mean, look at that kid. It's a beautiful stroke. Her body just, I mean, that kid's had, I think, 6 surgeries, maybe 7. I think this last one she went this summer to try to do a stem cell replacement just to see if that might help her with the pain. I mean, those things are 50-50. You know, you never know, and I think it just shows you, like, her commitment to try to get out here, but bless her heart. I mean, but you can see what kind of shooter she could have been for us. It's just unfortunate her body didn't let her do it. But man, that's kind of what sports is all about right there. When she hit that shot, man, that just warmed your heart. You know, it was just like, geez, that's couldn't happen to a better kid. You know.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, folks, that's all we have for you tonight. Appreciate your time.
Okay. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.